And we have another report by the name BBI. The first report is the TJ Harasi report, the Kregler report, Domo report, Waki report, Crowley report, and we have the BBI. None of these reports has not used billions of shillings, taxpayers' money, thus contributing to one of the factors that deprive the economy of this nation. I'm asking the following questions. Why don't we invest in one major project? Because by doing so, we will even create a stable environment for business and job opportunities to our youth. For instance, agriculture being the backbone of our economy, sisal farming needs to be revived. Tea and coffee farmers are weeping helplessly of poor prices. Pyrethrum farming is a forgotten agenda. Milk farming is featured nowhere in your day-to-day agenda. Many farmers need domestic and international market. We have a substantial farming like beans, bananas, maize, potatoes, rice, wheat, and the rest. They have nothing to smile about due to the state of the economy. Kenyans expected a report that would have constituted their challenges, They expected legal policies and the framework to enable them ease the cost of living compared to the level of economy of our nation today. For example, I want to give a case study. A commoner who is earning Kenyan shillings 200 today, that 200 shillings is not enough for lunch, it's not enough for supper and breakfast. The children of that commoner will not get basic needs like clothing, food, and to some extent, shelter. There will be no balanced diet, no savings, no investment. What substantive measures has the government put in place to ensure the following: that there is food security, there is safety and security in our nation? The other day we had the issue of Al-Shabaab killing innocent Kenyans in Lamu. What measures has the government put in place to ensure they have improved agriculture, that we have affordable health services, quality education, employment to youth, women, and people living with disabilities, economic growth, fight against corruption, and others to mention but a few? In my opinion, the above 7 issues that I have addressed are the major contribution of unrest nation, and once the government will consider ways of curbing, considering these issues that I have highlighted there, then we will have better ways of curbing poverty and unemployment in Kenya. It is the time this nation needs a stable economy so that we can also have reduced number of social crimes. We need free and fair election. so that we can stabilize this nation in terms of peace. The ongoing debate of 2022 succession and the Prime Minister position has resulted into political instability of this nation. For example, it has resulted to kieleweke, tanga, inua mama, embrace, Team Wanjiko, and even governors, they are having their own initiative. All these factions have totally divided the nation on the grounds of handshake of Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. This debacle has gone into an extent of ethnicity. It has distracted the fight against the corruption. It has also interrupted the checks and the balances. The factions that I have mentioned have brought intimidation to the judiciary, thus trying to chase and do away with independence of the judiciary. It has brought standstill to the whole cabinet. Furthermore, if independence of the judiciary will be swept away, the common mwananchi will still continue to cry because there will be no justice. The rich class, they have justice. They have money to defend themselves in court. But what about the common mwananchi? I want to say that devolution is working, but more should be done so that we can support fully the devolution. We need more allocation to our counties. And the EACC, the office of DPP, and the office of the DCI, the controller of budget and Senate should ensure they make up a follow-up, clear oversight on the allocated resources to the counties. We need to strengthen the Senate to ensure there is good oversight of counties. The odd sector should remain in the central government so that we can remove this burden from our county government. MCAs, they should be given allocation for development, and this should be compulsory. So I'm passing on this to the BBI committee or the BBI task force that they can look at this. The one this is according to my opinion, should be the center of development so that we can surely ensure that the devolution is working. We need to sweep away the possessions of the county executive committees. These possessions of CCs should be given to MCAs, and no additional salary or allowance should be given to them. To the fight against corruption, I want to say that a third of Kenyan budget is wasted in corruption annually by either abusing the tenders given or the tendering process, inflating the cost of project, paying for non-existent services, wastage by public officers, and multiplicity of allowances for public services for no reason or for no value. This corruption is responsible for the unemployment and the resultant poverty we have in this nation. And this is the reason why this nation will never stop crying of unemployment. Our youths, our women, people with disability, they will not stop crying of unemployment, of poor services because of this. So this corruption then leads to increment of social crimes and the disorders among the poor, the unemployed Kenyans who are languishing in poverty. I appeal to President Uhuru Kenyatta and his Deputy President William Ruto in collaboration with the relevant bodies that are concerned to ensure that they fully fight corruption. If 1 of the stolen money is invested in a project with clear economic impact, what a thriving nation Kenya would be. Imagine the damage those cartels in the tea, coffee, and sugar industries have caused to our GDP, reducing our export and increasing import of food stuff like sugar, which in the past was exported. The worst to this is that when perpetrators of those vices are taken to court, it takes an undue long process to execute until some who were evidence or witnesses are no longer there. I mean that these cases takes a long time until some of the evidences and the witnesses that were supposed to be there are no longer there, and the important documents are lost, and the presiding judges are either transferred or they retire when the case have not yet been earned. Some also argue the stolen money is also used to buy justice. We need timeliness of the period the cases of graft or corruption will be earned, and the verdict may be made as soon as possible. We need, and that's why I'm asking the President and the concerned bodies to make sure the law is fully executed, and they should avoid this issue of politicizing the fight against corruption. President Uhuru Kenyatta, William Ruto should lead as an example to fight against corruption. Finally, we want to hear the following scandals are being followed. We cannot fight corruption when we have pending cases in court. They have not been handled. There is this issue of NYS scandal. It was there, or it emerged during the regime of Uhuru Kenyatta or the Jubilee government. What happened to that case of NYS? We need to hear the Anglo-Lisi, Goldenberg, Triton, those cases